Okay, hi everyone. This is I'm Caroline Murphy-Bennis and the author of The Rainbow Warrior. And as part of the Rainbow Warrior world that I've created online and through the website www.rainbowwarrior.world, we have a newsletter. And in the newsletter, as a graphic designer, I'm trying to promote companies and individuals are creating innovative new ideas around ethical design thinking. As I have a background in education through Griffith College and through design thinking modules that I've written. So trying to combine the design thinking, design creation, our connection to, which is the basis of the Rainbow Warrior, our connection to our environment, our connection to ourselves, for a sustainable and mindful evolving world, we'll say. And I'm really trying to feature companies who are innovative, that I see as being innovative and creative, and really starting to look at the problems that we have within our society and within the environment as well, and how can we harness that and think, you know, intelligently about it. And Millbee in Offaly is one of the companies which I've thought, you know, it's really fabulous product that I've come across. And Jennifer Doyle has very kindly decided to come and chat to us about her beautiful idea and her products and her journey, her background to creating this company, and the range of products that she has available on her website. And so, Jennifer, it's lovely to talk to you, and I'm delighted that you're able to take some time out of your busy day to come and chat with us about this. So first of all, I'd love to hear about maybe your background first and what brought you to Millbee.
Okay, so it was a number of different things. I actually have a background in design as well.
Oh, really?
I'm very interested in creative or design thinking as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, so my background, I actually did a degree in interior and furniture design. Oh God, I'd say finished up 10 years ago or that. And from there, I worked in interior design for a little bit, and then I kind of moved a little bit into the web side of things. But I've always been really, really interested in craft and making things. I would have like crocheted on the side, and I'm big into nature as well. And I live in the country, so it's kind of a number of those different things that led me to where I am today. So I have been making kind of craft stuff. I actually had a blog called Rustic Notes first, and I was kind of just doing home stuff, baking and a bit of crochet, and that led to candle making. And then I learned about the different types of wax that you would use for candles. So you've got a lot of candles which are made from paraffin wax. And then there's natural waxes such as soy and beeswax. And my neighbour's a beekeeper, and I was talking to him about it, and then he encouraged me into beekeeping. And then that got me more into beeswax, and that then led to me making beeswax wraps. Beeswax wraps are a reused alternative to cling film. And yeah. So they're great. So I mean, they help you well, really, like you can cut out cling film, and also tinfoil as well, which is throwaway. But the idea is that you reuse them, and they're great for keeping food fresh as well. And so originally I was making them, I just had a little bit at home, and then I set up a stall in our local farmers market, and then a website, and it just kind of took off from there. But that's only about like maybe a year and a half ago, even I'd say, something like that maybe. But yeah, so that's where I am today.
Wow, it's amazing. It's a fabulous idea. And actually, how I came across it, a friend of mine, I think we were looking for actually school graduation, and we were trying to think of nice ideas for gifts for the school, and I had bought some beautiful candles before, and then a friend of mine had suggested yours. So I just thought it was amazing how they're made. It's rolled, and then it's flat.
Yeah.
You roll it together. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So they're actually made from what's called foundation sheets, and foundation sheets are they're wax sheets that you put into like a frame, and that goes into a beehive. But it helps the bees build honeycomb off the frame. Like it just gives them a bit of a start. But you can often it comes kind of wired, but you can buy the foundation sheets unwired, and then that's what you roll. I do actually, but more seasonally, I do dipped beeswax candles.
Okay.
It's a very traditional method of making candles, and I kind of did that around Christmas time with that limited edition. But yeah.
So you started with the candles initially, and then you're building on the product range from
yeah,
there?
yeah, and I also do beeswax balm as well.
Oh yeah.
Which is fantastic for dry skin. Yeah.
And so it's an Irish business as well, which is lovely, you know, so it's very it's inspired by it. And the design aspect of it, the illustration of it, is that, where did you who's the illustrator or the designer?
So I actually purchased that illustration, and I edited, tweaked it just a little bit as well.
So is it your
But I
design?
wanted to go. No, it's not my design. It's not my design. No.
Yeah.
But I did purchase the rights to use it. And I wanted to go with a botanical print specifically, because I wanted the whole brand to tie in around kind of nature and sustainability, and to I suppose really just country living as well, and just being around nature.
So you take most of your inspiration from your environment.
Yeah, so like I do, yeah. So if you, on Instagram, like most of, well, look, I have pictures. I do all my own pictures, and you know, it could be pictures of food, but a lot of them are just around my garden. Like I don't have a big garden now, but it's just a small orchard and whatever is around me. And we go for walks. We live near a canal as well. But I have two kids that are at home as well, so I'm like, well, now they're back in school, but obviously we're all in lockdown for the last 6 months, so I was at home with them, so you can only go so far, you know. So I kind of just would, I suppose, look around me for inspiration, you know.
Yeah. We're looking in Irish landscape. We have so much beautiful, you know, diversity, I suppose, that can be so inspiring to an artist or a craft person or a designer, you know. And I'm just wondering, for, you know, the vision or the kind of purpose behind it, was it something that you feel that kind of just emerged, or is it something that maybe, you know, you had a strong passion towards, or a vision for the future of where your range is going, your company is going? Or do you think that it just kind of evolved naturally from, you know, the experiences you had and the background that you had, all kind of coming together into one? Or would you say it was something that you know, felt that you really needed to kind of stand up and, you know, kind of put your talents to work to try and solve a problem, a design problem, we'd say?
A bit of it was, it kind of just happened. It was all those things coming together. Say from my background, but like I probably have a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit, and maybe I just enjoy the freedom of working for myself. But I didn't want to have a business that was just any business. Do you know what I mean? And like, I'm very I am interested in sustainability and biodiversity, and I don't want to create a product that's just another throwaway product. It just, you know, and then like obviously with kids, like, you're thinking about their future as well.
Exactly.
And so I don't know. I think it just, for me, I feel this kind of ticks boxes. Like, I don't feel guilty creating this product. Do you know, that kind of way? And I'm happy to hopefully grow it. You know what I mean? But grow it ethically and sustainably as well. That's the plan.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic, and that's very much what I'm really interested in as well. And I think there's a really kind of core kind of a change, maybe a mindset from an entrepreneur or a creator now, to think, you know, rather from thinking from the head, think from the heart, and it kind of gives you a different feeling, you know, even if you you know, that you're creating something that's not going to harm, especially when you have children, you know, that you want, even though And I think it's wonderful to see more products coming online that is making it easier for people to live sustainably, because I think, you know, when you have a busy life and a busy family, and you know, okay, money's tight for a lot of people at the moment, especially, to try and feel like, where are you putting your money? Are you investing in quality? You know, are you you know, and it's trying to make it easier for people to make that mind shift, that at least, and that's what I'm trying to create, maybe an awareness around that. If I was to, you know, go to these set of companies that I know that it's making it easy for me to know that I don't have to do the kind of tracing behind the background of how they've created a product. You know, okay, I mean, I know, I'm just looking at the research on your website that you use organic cotton and resin and things like that. You know, so you know, you're kind of sourcing your products, not just the beeswax, but behind that as well. And that you're.
Yeah, I think when I think when you're a startup business and start from the ground up, it's, I don't know, maybe I feel like if you can start that way, it's easier to just grow. But I think for some, I think a lot, like there are a lot of businesses that would like to be sustainable or more ethical or whatever, but it's more difficult for the ones that are, let's say, well established, and they've, you know, they have a supply chain, and to pull away from that and to change, you know. Whereas for anyone starting off, it's a great opportunity to start that way, you know. Exactly. So I know in one way I feel lucky, because it is something that there's a demand for it now, and I think people, when they're buying products, they are more conscious of what they're buying and where is it coming from, you know. So it's, I do see a shift, a huge shift going forward, but yeah, look, it's good, you know. It's needed.
There's actually another kind of aspect to it as well. I think that when I you know, when I handle your products, and then when I, you know, have them in the house, even, you start to have a kind of relationship with them. They become, you know, more real, maybe because you've invested, you know, you're kind of quite conscious of going to a different supplier, not just picking up in, you know, randomly without really thinking, and you're actually purchasing from someone that you know has put thought behind it. And then when you have it in the home, it seems like it has more value nearly. And also, like, when you're even handling it, you know, it's a fabulous tactile feel to the, you know. And I really feel there's, you know, maybe that was something that we had lost, you know, over the last, you know, generation, with plastics, whatever, that, you know, everything was quantity, not quality, you know. So it's just interesting to how to feel it in the home, you know. It's the different quality to it, and I'm just, it's lovely to have that, you know, relationship with products. You know, rather than,
do you know what, like, maybe people are like, I like to think of, you know, senses when in design, in everything, like, you know. But if you think of it, just makes everything seem more valuable, like if how something feels, touches, smells, you know. And even say when we're doing like I would, like, we make all of those by hand and pack them by hand, and all the little elements and how you wrap, it's all done, do you know, by hand. Do you know, it's very, like, it is, you know, more time consuming, but I think that more people appreciate that, you know. And especially if you've made things before, if you understand, you know, there's a value, you know, they understand the value in it, you know.
And the care that has to go into the handling of it and everything. Yeah, you know. It's lovely. And the design side of it is beautiful. Your branding is fabulous. I love the simplicity of the logo, and you know, when you brown cardboard, that packaging that comes in and everything, it's really, you know, it's followed through that kind of, it's contemporary, very contemporary, but it's, you know, they're contemporary products, but, you know, there's a lovely contemporary design feel to them, you know. Your website as well, as a designer now myself, that would, you know, enhance, entice me into the product as well. And I see that you're, on your webpage, you said you have the Irish Country magazine.
So that's great, actually. That only was announced during the last week, maybe, in the home category, for nominated for awards. So the awards are actually opened all this month, and then the winner obviously was announced at the end of the month. But yeah, it'd be great to get a vote. Look, it's even brilliant to be nominated. Like, there's fantastic brands and businesses within the whole all the different categories, and it's even just great to be like amongst some of them as well.
And have you exhibited? Do you go to how have you found the challenge of becoming present in the marketplace?
So it is challenging. Yeah, it is challenging now. So last year I did the RDS, the big one in Dublin, and that was huge. It was so busy, and that was great because you're kind of getting out and you're talking to people. And then I would have done a lot of small markets, like I did Sheridan's food market, I did a lovely food market in Kilkenny, like all around Ireland, but it's great because you're actually getting out and you're talking to people, and
you're meeting customers.
No, it's brilliant. But I had at the very beginning, I had a monthly market in Tullamore, which is our farmers market, and it's a brilliant market. So that was, I was back at that just last Saturday, since 6 months maybe.
Okay,
but it's brilliant to be back at it. Like, it's a small farmers market, but there's really nice stalls in it, and like, it's just a real community vibe, and you're talking to people, and it was lovely to be able to do that. But that's like, I suppose I'm online as well. It's not the same as, in terms of engagement, actually getting out and chatting to people. But I think this year it's just going to be a challenge. It's just one of those years where we just have to get through it and try and use online as much as possible, and that's all we can do. Yeah, I think so. Now there are a lot of websites now, and especially on Instagram as well, promoting Irish companies, and there's more Irish directories, and they're helping smaller brands like ours, get out to more people. But that'll help.
Yeah, great. And have you found the sales online increase, or have they?
Yeah.
Did people know about you enough before the pandemic, or how did it affect you?
Yeah, so they did. I did have stockists as well. So I had a few stockists around Ireland, kind of a lot of independent stores, some cafes, food stores, and gift stores as well. And they unfortunately had to close for a bit. And some of them had online websites, but it did definitely quieten down. Now they're starting to pick up a little bit again. But my own online website, definitely there was a pickup in that, and I think more people are trusting, buying things online now than ever before.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Confidence is really boosted there, hasn't it?
Sorry?
The consumer confidence around online shopping has really improved,
It has really improved, yeah, definitely, yeah. I think in Ireland there probably will be, if somebody can find you online as well, there will be, and there's a convenience to it as well, so yeah, I'd say all around for many businesses, there's just huge increase in online sales.
Yeah. And outside of Ireland, have you had much interest in the product?
UK online, I'd say again, UK orders. I've had a few orders from people, let's say maybe living in Ireland, or they'd send gifts somewhere, all around the world, or some people you'd recognise the Irish surnames as well in the UK,
Excellent. Yeah. I've done that myself actually, because I first bought them for gifts for my mother, and it was actually during the pandemic, and I was trying to think of, she can't go anywhere, she can't, and she loves her home, and she likes something unusual kind of thing, and I thought, I'll send her this, it'll be a surprise, and something different, and so I did it a few times.
It's lovely.
In the post, because we were in lockdown during her birthday, so I sent, there's a few little surprise packages she got. Yours was one of them, and then I got
thank you
here, as well. So it was great in that way. I thought to myself, you know, and it was nice that it was, you felt like you were supporting Irish companies and sustainability and biodiversity and everything as well, you know. So there's kind of feel good side to it as well, which is great, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah,
it's very much appreciated, you know.
and no problem. And you know, I just think it's a lovely idea as well that, you know, the fact that you can live in Offaly and do this. You know, I'm from Wexford and I live in Dublin, and you know, as of the generation that you have to go away really to get work, especially in design. You know, because nobody
Yeah.
knew what design was. I went away to Scotland and to work for there for years, and came back again, and things have changed an awful lot then. But you know, it's amazing that you can stay in your home county and you can start
Brilliant.
and you know, it can be, you know, contemporary business. You know, it doesn't have to be a traditional base. You can think in outside the box and still have a positioning, you know, across the, you know, nationally and internationally, you know, which is wonderful, you know. And you can stay in the environment where you're most happy and you're most inspired, you know. Yeah, so it's wonderful, you know. That's a great plus, and I think it's great to see companies like yourself doing that, and it might encourage other people to say there's another aspect to life that, you know, it's not you know, for creative people, that, you know, outside of the cities is an option as well, you know.
It's so true, because like when I came out of college, the recession just hit. There's nothing. And in a way, like I had to, well, I started working for myself straight away, but I kind of got into that habit of working for myself. And it just, even though I did work for a couple of different companies, say, you know, in the last 10 years of that, you know, but then when I had kids, it kind of changes things again, and you have to try and work around them, and, you know, so I think it is great that you can actually create work around your lifestyle now in the country. And it's probably one of the good things, is if there is anything, this whole pandemic thing, that people realize that, you know, you can work remotely, you know, and it just needs to be a bit more trust, I think. There, like, but there is no, as long as you've got, you know, Wi-Fi, really, you know, there you should be able to work remotely. That's my thoughts on it anyway.
Yeah, no, it's true, and like that, I mean, I think a lot of people are, because they've had to test and try it, and there's been a large block of time there that they've done it from home, and a lot of people are opting not to go back to the cities or not to go back to the offices and continue working from home, because they're really realizing that work-life balance just was too much, you know, and they found it so stressful, and they weren't eating properly, they weren't exercising properly, they weren't really enjoying their lives as much as they could. And even though I suppose that was the upside of it, the difficult time ahead during lockdown, and it is difficult with children, but now that maybe you know, the schools are open again and things, you know, if we're lucky, settle down, and there could be, you know, the silver lining to that side of things, you know.
There is,
so it's and do you have, could you explain just the different products that you actually have to offer? You know, I have two of them here. I have the candles. These came in a 2-pack.
They're pillar candles.
Yeah.
So pillar candles are, you can just obviously, they're different to, say, a candle in a container. You can just sit them on like you know, a little candle holder or saucer even, or something like that. But those ones there, like, so they're made with the foundation sheets, and they have a honeycomb texture. And when they burn, the actually honeycomb texture kind of glows. So they're visually very beautiful. In terms of scent, I don't scent any candles, because there is a very, very subtle natural wax scent of it, and sometimes you can get a little bit of a honey scent. But I kind of feel with, like, they're, you know, like, I actually use oils an odd time, just, you know, if I want to create like calming ambience, whatever. But sometimes candles are nice if you just want something more visual. And and also, say, if you've got, like, if you're doing dining, because I do dinner candles and pillar candles, like, you know, it's nice to be able to smell the food, you know, and not
I know.
have a candle scent competing with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's more for just the ambience. So then I do in the Beeswax Wraps, I have 3-pack options. So I do a bread wrap, and is that a bread wrap? It could be a bread wrap. No, that's a lunch. Yeah, that's the largest size I do, and that comes in a variety pack, which is a large, medium, and a small. And the variety pack is if you are, let's say, just starting off using Beeswax Wraps for the first time and you want to see how you might use them. So, for example, some people use them a lot for wrapping up sandwiches. Some people use them for covering like leftovers a good bit. So, if you know, bowls, you can wrap them around a bowl and they seal fairly easily around a bowl. Some people use them for cheeses, especially Parmesan cheese, which goes hard very quickly. Or like half-cut lemons. If you think of anything you might use cling film for, or tin foil, you can use wraps. And the only thing you can't do is obviously you can't put them into a microwave because they're wax. And when you clean them, you have to use cold water. You can use washing up liquid, but a mild eco brand is better. So then I did a bread wrap because I found a lot of people, well, I use them for homemade bread. I make homemade brown bread, and I maybe only use like a quarter or half, cut it in half, and then wrap the rest up. But it's great; they're great for keeping bread fresh, and you can actually even put them into the freezer. Which is handy. So you can wrap, you can just when you take them out of the freezer, you just need to allow them to come to room temperature before unfolding them. And I also use them a good bit for I buy like a baguette in my farmer's market, a baguette, and the baguette goes really hard the next day, whereas if you wrap it in the wraps, it stays nice and fresh and soft.
Well, that's a good idea, actually. I often do that as well, and you know the way you have to eat it the same day because it's just no, they're great. So that's why I did the bread one. So the bread one it's the longest one that we could possibly do, and it'll cover like most loaf sizes. And then I also did a lunch pack because a lot of children use either tin foil or cling film for their sandwiches. And so I did a lunch pack with 3 of the large sizes, to just, you know, so you could rotate them as well. And that, like I use them for my kids' lunches, and they always, you know, come back and we wash them or wipe them down and use them again. So yeah. And then the BAM we did during, actually it was a lockdown. So what happened, I had some of the ingredients and for making the BAMs here anyways, and I just did a bit of research, and beeswax is brilliant for locking in moisture. So, and I use jojoba oil as well, which is really, really good for dry skin. So I did a small batch of the BAMs during lockdown, and because you know the way loads of people as well are washing their hands all the time, and so that they're going well. So it's nice to have kind of 3 variety, you know, very different products. Brilliant.
Yeah.
And I would say actually, using it, I thought these were amazing in the fridge. I use them in the fridge all the time. And I get in trouble actually for, you know, the smells out of the fridge. You know, sometimes you use tin foil, it doesn't actually stick to the side of the bowl. But these are actually, if you put that down, when you put it down over the glass bowl, it actually sticks like glue nearly around. So like it's really brilliant in the fridge. I think they're fabulous. You know, it's like it's not a substitute for tin foil. It's like a different invention altogether. You know, it's just great. You know, it's like a built-in you know, glue. You know, you know, because you can feel the tactile feel to it, but when it goes on glass, it just seems to, you know, a glass bowl or a Delft bowl, you know, it just seems to stick to it so well and keeps it fresh, things fresh, and keeps the smells of the fridge down. You know, fabulous.
That's brilliant. The other thing, which I even just from home, like, I think it's when you start into that way of thinking by using a product like that, it gets you thinking about food waste and how you might cut down on food waste as well. So like, you know, that's it, because I would use an awful lot. I try and batch cook as well for, you know, with kids, like I get 2 days maybe out of dinner, so I'd always have leftovers, you know, but it does encourage you to think about like cutting down on food waste as well, you know.
And portion size, because it's really hard to get that sometimes, you know, to get that right, you know, because, you know, your busy life or whatever, and you have things in the fridge for too long, and especially, you know, lunches and all that kind of stuff to get yourself organized. But it's great to know that you can freeze them, because I haven't.
Yeah.
I have to order some more sandwich ones and ones for the freezer.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much for that. So, have you got any other bright ideas for new products that's coming, or?
I have a million ideas. This is the problem. Every day I'm like, oh God, what about this? What about that? But I have to control myself because oh, like I'm always thinking of loads of different things. I do have, like, we are going to be doing, I just have a small batch of, you know, the vegetable mesh bags that you can get.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I just have a few of them, and it's made from organic fabric as well. And I'm also thinking of a lip balm as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully I'll but it's just now, like, it's just which to do first, and you know.
You have to have your idea. It's funny, as being a creative like that, I have loads of, you know, books everywhere, full of ideas, and then I say, okay, I flesh this out now, you make that real, you know, because even as a lecturer, you know, like, oh, I love your ideas, but can I see it come out of you onto paper or into an idea or into something, like, you know, I want to see it materialize, you know, so we have to do it ourselves, you know, and then trying to give yourself time while you're pushing your business as well and making things run smoothly, you know?
And that's it. And like as you say, it can take, you know, by the time you develop something, and even develop maybe packaging and maybe branding first, and you know, if it's making like that, there's to develop formulas, there's just so much different things to it. Look, like what I have now is brilliant, my products, but I think it's always nice to add a couple of different things that, you know, just managing.
It's have you know, something stirring in the pot, you know, something different. And can I just ask you as well, how do you find, you know, the importance of design when it comes to your product, you know, and the graphic design aspect of it in your branding, and the importance of that, if you could explain that to anybody who is kind of maybe starting off and hasn't, because, you know, I'm kind of interested in supporting people who maybe have been hit by COVID, and or maybe could take it as a, you know, they might be made redundant, or they want to retrain into different skill-based work or whatever, or they're deciding to go it alone in an area that they've always wanted to kind of develop, you know, from a personal point of view. And, you know, I'd love to help people along that journey with their branding. And I'm just wondering from yourself, what advice could you give to somebody who is maybe, you know, going to start up like yourself in the countryside, or in a city, or, you know, with a new idea, and the importance of graphic design and branding and packaging and online presence and stuff, you know?
So it's hugely important, and I definitely think you need to get some professional advice. So for me, like, my background is an interior and furniture design, like I was saying, but I have a friend who is a fantastic graphic product design, packaging designer as well, and she helped me with my branding, because I could bring it to a certain level, and I have basic, you know, like Illustrator, Photoshop skills, so I could do like some of my simple cards, I could do the stickers, things like that. But when it came to developing the initial part of my, say, branding, when it came to say the bee and some of the original box packaging designs that we got done, I worked with this girl, Tanya is her name, and she's from Tullamore, and she even just bouncing ideas off of somebody as well was just fantastic. So I think definitely get professional advice would be one thing. But I also would say that branding is something that it's in every part of your business. So it's your brand tone. So, you know, it's in terms of your social media side of things, you know, what is the message what are you about? So for me, it's about living a natural life, you know, being like simple things in life, you know, and like a lot of the stuff, even I try, it's, you know, walking, it's so free, you know, but I try and capture that, and I try and maybe encourage other people as well to, you know, maybe have this lifestyle if they want, and you know that it's not something that's not accessible. And my even my imagery, I like to keep it kind of bright, a lot of greenery, and with my tone as well. I don't like negativity, you know, and I like to encourage wellness and all these kind of things. But that's part of your brand message as well. So it kind of covers everything from your brand voice to your imagery to your like all of my packaging is sustainable, it's natural, I don't use any plastic, I use craft, and I use, even the inks are I got certified inks as well for my and my fabric has got certified organic cotton, and so it's just kind of maintaining that consistency, I suppose, and transparency. If you're doing it in one area, you kind of have to do it in everything. Do you know that kind of, if that's what you're about?
Yeah, your narrative.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I also would say, like, to anyone, like, you know, maybe try not to do it everything yourself, because I even know there's so many things I can't do.
Yeah.
And it's so important to ask other people and not be afraid, or not try, you know, and I think people kind of, even now as well, they're happy to help if they can.
Yeah.
At all.
And not to be afraid to ask for help and to get professional advice, because it does make a big difference to
it makes a massive difference. Absolutely. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And we're coming to the end now, because I think we're just nearly on our 40 minutes. So I really enjoyed that conversation with you, Jennifer, and I wish you the very best with your amazing venture, and hopefully you'll go places big time.
Well, fingers crossed.
We'll see you, you know, be known internationally, definitely.
Yeah. Well, look, it's early days yet, but yeah. Look, if for any, I think, look, it would be great. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's fabulous. It's product, and it's about a fabulous narrative, and it's an Irish product, sustainable, and supports biodiversity and mindful living, you know, and for an evolving world. That's what I'm interested in as well. The more the conversation changes into that direction, the more it'll be easier for people to live that way, and we'll all start beating the same drum, you know. So thanks so much for that, and I'll be watching your progress. And thanks, Jennifer. Have a nice day.
Thanks a million, Caroline.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Bye. Thank you.